Right now at 5, an Nevada church is trying to move forward after a devastating fire.
And temperatures continue to remain hot. We do have more heat advisories in place today. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, bikers in Joplin come together for the 3rd annual Ride for Autism Awareness.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday. How about that?
Yes,
here we go again.
Yes.
I don't know. But last week was a fun week, and I think this week's going to be a lot better, though. And unfortunately, temperature-wise, that's not going to be the case. But we're going to have fun. We're gonna try and brighten your spirits a little bit. Even at 5 o'clock in the morning, we can brighten something. You don't always need the sunshine to be bright and cheery, right?
True.
Yeah. We can be bright and cheery at 5 a.m. Trevor doesn't look convinced that we can be bright and cheery at 5 a.m. He's in our controller. He's waving. He's looking bright. See, look, now you can't see him, but he's already bright and cheery. And I wish I had better news for you, but I'm going to deliver it in a bright and cheery fashion. How about that? Yeah. Let's start with a look outside from our camera on top of the Cordell Complex in downtown Joplin. We are looking fairly good so far. The skies are clear. It looks nice out there. Same from our camera at 7th and Range Line. And we're getting a little further south to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. Not bad either. It looks great. It doesn't feel great, but it looks great outside. We do have heat advisories in place across the region. For most of Kansas, they run through 8. And then, of course, you guys know there's 5 different offices that cover our area. So Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, points east, they run until 9. And all of us, heat index values for most of us should hopefully cap out at 105. I know that's still not great. That's why we have heat advisories, but hopefully they don't get any higher than that. Unfortunately, for some of us, we could see them go as high as 108. The future track, it is broken. I always make that comment. It's not broken. It is broken this time. It's been about 2 weeks since it last did this. Joplin, I regret to inform you, you will not be about 20 to 30 degrees cooler than all your neighbors today. There's just a flaw with the temperature data coming in, only for Joplin though, but you will be in the 90s. We will all be in the low 90s by noon. As we head into the afternoon and evening, we're going to go mid-upper 90s again. We're going to have those uncomfortable heat index values out there. Quick look at temperatures, already uncomfortable. 79 in Joplin, 76 in Pittsburgh, and around the area, these are colors we should see in the afternoon, not this time of the morning, but we've got some low 70s, the majority of us mid and upper 70s, pushing close to 80 degrees already. We'll fall back a little to get to our lows, and then we're going to turn around, sunny skies, hot, muggy conditions, and again, mid-upper 90s for those highs. We'll have another full look at your forecast, talking about some rain chances and a cold front on the way here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Joplin first responders were called to a structure fire in the Easttown neighborhood yesterday evening. Flames could be seen at the rear of the house. Firefighters were able to quickly bring the flames under control. No one was home when the fire broke out. The firefighters not only battled the fire, but high temperatures as well. 2 firefighters were transported to the area hospital as precaution due to heat-related symptoms. Nevada Church is moving forward following a devastating fire last week. Roughly 70 firefighters came together to fight the fire, which took nearly 4 hours to bring under control. But officials have determined the building to be a total loss. KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with church leaders to learn how they're moving ahead despite the tragedy.
So while my heart goes out to our church members, and I pray justice is done, at the same time, my heart does go out to a gentleman that was so troubled to do an act like this.
The First Christian Church in Nevada, Missouri, who recently fell victim to arson, plans to move forward in a time of disaster. 8 different fire departments responded to the fire, being able to put it out before it spread further, but the damage was already done. The church's preacher, Tim McMillan, told us about the series of events that took place that day.
I had to be out of town, long ways away, so I wasn't able to be here on the spot, but I started seeing these pictures popping up on social media, and some of our leaders began sending me pictures, and I couldn't believe it. It just didn't seem real. But as the pictures continue to flow in, it was obvious that tragedy had hit of some sort. I didn't know what.
Although the church was destroyed, McMillan told us that one of his main focuses for the church was not letting the tragedy stop the services.
What we do have is a community and a congregation that loves each other, that's coming together, that's meeting in our fellowship hall that's right here on the church property. It has been changed over to an auditorium, and so we didn't miss a Sunday service. We had service the following day. It was heart-wrenching, but at the same time, God was honored and praised, even through a tragedy.
The fellowship hall on the same lot as the church went undamaged in the fire. Sunday services, leadership groups, and youth groups will continue in the adjacent building. Reporting from Nevada, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The Vernon County Prosecutor's Office has filed felony charges against 58-year-old Keith Kaler in connection to the fire. He's being charged with felony arson and felony burglary. The man has been hospitalized for injuries believed to be related to the fire, and a warrant has been issued for his arrest upon recovery from those injuries. Yesterday, community members in Carthage held a rally supporting Jason Martin as fire chief. The event comes after Carthage firefighters submitted a statement supporting Martin as chief. The Carthage City Council recently tabled choosing a new chief despite the hiring committee unanimously selecting Martin from more than 10 applicants. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Bikers gathered in Joplin yesterday to support a good cause. The third annual Ride for Autism Awareness started at a Cycle Connection and finished at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort in Seneca. After the ride, participants could join a panel discussion about employing a person with special needs. Organizers say the event is about starting conversations, supporting and listening to those with autism. Dozens of local businesses helped sponsor this year's ride. Well, a Cup of Grace Coffee and Panini Shop in Oswego held a twine class hosted by award-winning Choctaw artist Deborah Pruitt. The class used some traditional Choctaw methods that are centuries old, even predating weaving as we know it today. The featured project that everyone was making was an angel. The organizer says the class is a way to engage with the Native American culture.
Native Americans are still here, and we're not past tense. We're very current and very vibrant, and we're still here and still active and still doing things, wonderful things. But yeah.
A Cup of Grace is moving down the road to 1026th Street soon. They hope to continue holding similar events in the future. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A wild finish from this year's Little League World Series. We have the details. Plus, a 102-year-old woman becomes Britain's oldest skydiver while also raising money for a good cause. And we have a hot and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Joplin Outlaws are the defending Mid-America League champions since they beat the Abilene Flying Bison a week and a half ago. On Sunday, the league voted one of Joplin's pitchers as this year's Fireman of the Year. Xavier Fossbender has been named the Mid-America League Fireman of the Year. Fossbender wins the award after finishing this season with 19 pitching appearances for the Joplin Outlaws. He pitched 68 innings with 80 strikeouts this season while supporting a 3.71 ERA. St. Louis Cardinals are in second place in the National League standings. However, St. Louis is on the outside looking in when it comes to the wild card standings. Sunday would prove to be a big series finale. Cardinals versus Twins in Minnesota. We're going to start this one in the bottom of the first. No score here until Willie Castro puts a charge into this one. That might hit the target center across the street. Leadoff homer puts the Twins up 1-0. In the 5th inning, same score. Victor Scott with a no-doubter solo home run that ties the game. Cardinals even up the score to 1-1 after that ball travels more than 400 feet. So we go to the 8th inning, still tied up. Royce Lewis hammers this baseball into the gap and bounces off the wall. Willie Castro hustles around the bases to score, and the RBI double gives the Twins a 2-1 lead. Cardinals head into the 9th inning. St. Louis is down to their final out of the game, but Lars Nootbaar comes through with a clutch RBI single past the infield. 2-run score to give the Cardinals the lead. St. Louis completes the late comeback. Cardinals win 3-2. Royals versus Phillies in Kansas City. Philly leading 2-0 in the 3rd inning. Bobby Witt Jr. smokes one into center field, and it's way out of here. 441-foot solo homer. Royals cut the lead in half. It's now 2-1. 5th inning. Michael Garcia belts one into the Sonic Slam seat. That ball is gone, and it makes it a 3-2 game. Phillies still lead. To the 6th inning, Kyle Schwarber. It's a ground ball on the right side. That drives in 2 runs. Philadelphia starts to pull away. Phillies up 6-2 after the big hit. Royals aren't done yet. Go to the bottom of the 6th. MJ Melendez gets a good piece of this baseball as it lands past the Royals bullpen. That's gone for a solo homer, but the Royals still trail 6-3. So we head to the 8th inning. Nick Castellanos puts this game out of reach with a 2-run jack. Phillies flex their muscle all weekend long. They beat the Royals 11-3. As the summer comes to a close, that means baseball from Little League level wraps up this season. This year, the Little League World Series came down to another exciting ending. Chinese Taipei takes on Lake Mary, Florida in the Little League World Series championship game. In the 1st inning, Chinese Taipei strikes first as Hu Yin Chun hits an RBI single. Taipei leads 1-0. Top of the 4th, check out this play by the shortstop Chase Anderson, who slides, spins, and throws out the runner in time. Not bad for a 12-year-old. Take a look at the replay. Amazing play right there. That keeps the game close. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Florida down to their final out. DJ Mises hits one into the gap for a double. Florida ties the game 1-1, and we're headed to extra innings. Coach and everyone is fired up. In the 8th inning, runner on second. It's a sacrifice bunt, but there's a little bit of a miscommunication here, and Chinese Taipei throws it away. So we get an unreal ending. Florida walks it off to win the Little League World Series. Team Florida beats Chinese Taipei 2-1 in thrilling fashion. Well, still to come, we're going to see why a new study suggests evening exercise could help you sleep better at night. Plus, another check of that unpleasantly hot forecast and when some relief will be on the way when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:18 on this Monday morning. We're going to start with the future track, and a quick reminder for folks who may be just joining us. We have noticed it. We can't correct it right now. There is a temperature anomaly for Joplin, okay? It is not going to be 71 when everyone else is in the 90s. It would be nice if it was, but it will not. So just ignore that number. Everything else is correct. Don't know what's causing that just yet, but we're still looking at going into the 90s. We have heat advisories across the bulk of the area through late this evening, and that's because we could see heat index values 105, maybe as high as 108. We'll go into the evening, maybe a few clouds late night and into early tomorrow. Otherwise, another sunny and hot day across the region as we hang out in the 90s again, but our humidity levels come back just a bit. So we're looking at heat index values tomorrow only about to 100. Now, I know that doesn't sound great, but it's better than 108. It's a slight improvement, and we will certainly take it. We go into our Wednesday. It's another hot day across the area again, and it'll be hot again Thursday. But as we get into Thursday, we have a cold front coming in that is going to help us out a little bit. So here's a look at the heat advisory. So we've got Benton, Delaware, Berry, and Lawrence counties. They're the only counties not under a heat advisory. The rest of us, they run through late this evening. And again, it's for heat index values anywhere from 105 to 108. I haven't shown you the heat risk map in a while because it is somewhat depressing to look at sometimes, but it does give us a clue as to the assistance we're going to get as we head into Thursday. So you can see we go to a moderate heat risk for most of us even by tomorrow and Wednesday, because again, we start to see slight humidity improvements. Then we go into Thursday. We're starting to fall into a minor to moderate, and by Friday, we've got a minor risk, and that continues into Saturday as well, because again, we have that cold front coming in. Then take a look at Sunday. Some of us even the little to no risk on this map. So don't forget, of course, we've got a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's talk about temperatures right now. They're already uncomfortable. Now, we'll still fall back just a little because we'll hit our official overnight lows in the next hour or so. But we're sitting at 79 in Joplin. Feels like 81 with a south breeze at 10. Dew points up there at 66. Around the region, temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s for most of us, and hence why we don't have heat advisories to the south and east. It's a little cooler out there this morning, low 70s. So Delaware, Benton, Berry, Lawrence counties, low 70s. No heat advisory today. The rest of us already uncomfortable this morning. Most of us, we're going to heat up pretty quickly. Sunny skies through the morning, hot by 11 o'clock, just shy of 90 degrees. And then as we head into the afternoon, again, we're going to hit those highs, mid-upper 90s across the region. So dangerous heat, you know the drill. Make sure you're taking precautions. School back in session today. If you've got outdoor activities, elementary schools, you've got recess, you might want to consider keeping kids inside as much as you can because, heat index values 105 to 108 can be dangerous for kids. So just make sure you're playing it safe out there. Clear skies through the evening and a few clouds late, still mid-80s by 10, but we will be a little cooler tonight, falling back into the low to mid-70s, so not a big cool down, but a little improvement. Again, staying in the mid-90s as we go all the way through Thursday. Cold front coming in. Well, I could have some isolated storms by the afternoon, slightly better chances by late Thursday night and into Friday, better thunderstorm chances. And that, again, it's the summertime. It's a cool front, not a cold front necessarily. But take a look at those temperatures. Maybe some rain on Sunday, but we fall back into the low to mid 80s. Could even see the upper 50s by next Tuesday night for lows. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. A new study suggests a surprising level of plastic can be found in the human brain. The researchers examined brain, kidney, and liver tissues from nearly 100 people who underwent forensic autopsies in both 2016 and this year. Overall, the scientists found the brain samples contained more tiny shards of plastic than samples from the kidneys and livers. The brain samples collected from this year also contained more plastic compared to the samples collected in 2016. The researchers found the brain samples collected in 2024 were 0.5% plastic by weight. Experts not involved in the study are stressing more research is needed to understand the possible impact of the findings. Well, a small study challenges the traditional sleep hygiene advice that evening exercise hurts your sleep. It found the opposite. Specifically, incorporating short resistance or strength training exercise breaks in the evening improved sleep duration and quality. New Zealand researchers used activity monitors on 28 women, non-smokers ages 18 to 40. The participants, who would typically sit for long periods during the workday and in the evening, either did activity breaks or stayed seated in a supervised lab setting. Those with breaks did 3-minute bouts of resistance exercise every 30 minutes over a 4-hour period in the evening. Now, the results, participants slept in an average of nearly 28 minutes longer when they took regular exercise breaks compared when they sat uninterrupted. Well, decades after being rejected from dental school, a father is now getting his chance to live his dream and learn dentistry. Abigail Curtin has the story.
John Pace always wanted to be a dentist.
It's a lot. There's no, sorry.
But after being rejected from dental school decades ago, he put that dream aside, instead working in AI and data sciences for over 10 years.
Really, the main thing was I'm not getting any younger. I've always wanted to do this. I wasn't happy in the career that I was in. It was going to be time to make a change anyways. And this has really been the thing I've wanted to do for so long. Let's do it.
Having completed his undergrad degree in the 90s, it took some effort to get back on track. But after 2 years of studying and interviewing, this happened.
Congratulations, we are honored to welcome you to the University of Iowa College of Dentistry. You did it!
We did it!
You did it, baby!
30 years of wanting to do something, it was like this huge weight came off of me. It was one of the most freeing days I've ever had.
And after receiving his white coat on Friday, his family says they couldn't be prouder.
I am so incredibly proud of him. I've always been proud of him, but even more so now. He has been nothing but a rock and a support to not only me, but to our entire family. And I know he's gonna do amazing at this.
As for Pace, he's still in a little bit of shock over the fact that he's finally making his dream a reality. But he says if there's one thing he hopes people get from his story, it's that if he can do it, others can too.
It doesn't matter how old you are, follow your dream. You can do it.
Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got another hot and muggy day across the area. Most of us under heat advisories. Well, another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, students at Pitt State host a car show to help fundraise for student scholarships.
And it's another day of potentially dangerous heat out there. A number of heat advisories in place. We'll look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the George Washington Carver National Monument presents stories of American history.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday here in the 4 states, and it's going to be another hot one. We mentioned it was going to start heating up this weekend, and by golly, it certainly did. It did not waste any time getting hot this weekend.
No, it didn't. Like blistering out there, it felt like. Oh.
It's uncomfortable to say the least, and we've got to deal with some uncomfortable temperatures for the next few days out there as well. Let's start with a quick look outside from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. We're looking fairly good this morning. A few folks already getting their day underway. Hopefully, you're running the AC because even at this hour, it is toasty. So except for Delaware, Benton, Berry, and Lawrence counties, all of us under heat advisories through the late evening hours. We could see heat index values across the area anywhere from 105 to 108 degrees. So as we've mentioned, schools, outdoor activities, recess, you might want to consider some alternatives. And of course, if you are working outside or have to be outdoors, make sure you're limiting your time and staying hydrated as much as you can. All right, again, temperature anomaly in Joplin on this map. Do not pay attention to that. We are going to heat up into the 90s, and that does include Joplin. This isn't the Simpsons movie. You haven't built a dome over the city to keep it cool, unfortunately. But we will stay hot as we head into the afternoon and evening hours out there. Already pretty toasty. 79 in Joplin, 76 in Pittsburgh. We're still going to fall back just a little bit to our official lows over the next hour or so. But in the meantime, this is why no heat advisories to our south and east, though. Take a look at these morning temperatures, low 70s out there. The rest of us mid-upper 70s, getting awfully close to 80 degrees. Kids getting on the bus this morning, it's over there. It's been a minute. 74 degrees, south breeze around 5 to 10, sunny skies, southwest winds out there, and about 96 when the bus brings the kids back home today. Highs again, mid-upper 90s, those heat index values upwards of 105 to 108 degrees. So again, just make sure you're taking precautions if you have to be outside. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk about cold front on the way and some rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Lise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, area law enforcement agencies joined together to take part in Saturation Saturday, an annual event that targets DWI drivers. Agencies who participated this year included Joplin Police, Webb City Police, Jasper and Newton County Sheriff's Department, and the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Saturation Saturday takes place the weekend before Labor Day, with local agencies looking for impaired and careless drivers, as well as hazardous traffic violations. Participating departments say their goal is to keep the roadways safe. Well, the George Washington Carver National Monument showcased stories from American cultures on Saturday. The stories were told by Cherry and Jerry, a ragtime band who played and told the history of ragtime in Missouri. Suzanne Jones, who told stories from Native American tribes, and Angela De Silva, who presented the life of a Missouri slave.
That's what we do in the National Park Service every day. Here at George Washington Carver National Monument, we tell the story of George Washington Carver's life every day. And so we wanted to expand that and tell other wonderful stories about this wonderful country.
The event coincides with the 108th birthday of the National Park Service. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri is helping clean the community with the 3rd annual Sudstock event. The event, while also having inflatables and foam cannons, also teaches people about substance misuse. The event also had free hot dogs and ice cream.
The boys had a football scrimmage this morning, so they really needed to clean off from being sweaty. But no, just the fun that they get to have and enjoy with their friends out here.
Sudstock also included a puppet show from local author Izzy B. Members of Pittsburgh State University's Human Health Performance and Recreation Club held its 1st annual car show Saturday. The event, known as Gorilla Fest, is to help fundraise for scholarships for HHPR students. Gorillas Fest also had awards for the top 2 winners and 2 food trucks for attendees to enjoy.
So we were tasked with deciding to do an annual event that could help raise scholarship funds for the department. And a car show is a good one where everyone can be involved. It's not like you have to be really good at something. And we were hoping the community would rally around this. And that's kind of what led us to this.
At least 17 cars pre-registered for the event. And now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. At least 30 people have died as floods continue to wreak havoc in the eastern region of Bangladesh. Plus, Israel launched a wave of airstrikes against Lebanon's militant group. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. A lot of us would probably be content to mark our 102nd birthday with a quiet evening at home. But that wasn't the case for Minette Bailey of the United Kingdom. She chose to celebrate the milestone by parachuting out of a plane, and she set a record for oldest skydiver in the UK. Now, the high-flying event was also a fundraiser, bringing in almost $12,000 for charity, including money for an air ambulance service. Incidentally, for her 100th birthday, Bailey reportedly drove a Ferrari at 130 miles an hour at the Silverstone racecourse. The Canadian arbitrator gives a back-to-work order and ends a continental economic worry for now. Workers for the Canadian National Railroad and the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railroad will go back to their jobs. The Canada Industrial Relations Board ordered returns to work but didn't reach a decision Saturday. Worker lockouts by the companies happened after contract negotiations didn't reach an agreement. The order continues to flow of billions of dollars of goods by rail between the U.S. and Canada. Canadian National will be able to continue operating the trains. It restarted Friday morning, just over a day after it locked out workers. Canadian Pacific Kansas City workers will resume work today. The Teamsters says it will comply with the order but will challenge the arbitration order in court. Floods continue to wreak havoc in the eastern region of Bangladesh, raising the death toll to 30 people. Rain stopped in many areas of the country Friday, and weather experts say the water started to recede in some areas, but flooding would continue for days. A Bangladesh TV channel reporting 7 more people died in the last 24 hours on Friday. One organization says up to 3 million people remain stranded as large areas of farmland destroying crops, homes, and people's livelihoods. Many are without food, water, or electricity. Other media reports saying up to 4.5 million people have been affected by the severe weather. Well, Israel launched a wave of airstrikes against Lebanon's militant group Hezbollah in what the IDF is calling a preemptive strike. Hezbollah retaliated to avenge the killings of one of its top leaders last month, leading to the heaviest exchange of fire in months. Alex Hogan has more from Tel Aviv.
Early Sunday, Israel and the militant group Hezbollah exchanged heavy fire. The IDF called the strike preemptive, claiming it destroyed thousands of rocket launchers in Lebanon. Hezbollah says it carried out a barrage of rocket and drone attacks in retaliation for the killing of a top military commander last month.
We are attacking and removing threats from Hezbollah. The IDF is doing and will continue to do everything necessary to protect the citizens of the state of Israel.
Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah says the group is going to assess whether further attacks are needed to be carried out after the group initially said that the attack was complete, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the country could take all measures to protect itself to return civilians to the evacuated towns in the north, and that this is not the end of the matter. Both sides claim they only aimed at military targets.
Whoever hurts us, we hurt him.
The cross-border clash was one of the most intense exchanges in months and comes as high-level ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas continue in Egypt.
I am not very optimistic about it, and I don't think that Hamas has the correct, how should we say, incentive in order to finally say, yes, we agree.
The fighting instead renewing fears of a wider war spreading across the already tense region.
I think the Iranians are contemplating an attack on Israel, but decided for now to put it on hold.
The White House says that it's monitoring the situation. The Pentagon says since the attack, it's ordered 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to remain in the Middle East.
Now let's look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:45 now on this Monday morning. And again, for those might be just joining us, we do want to remind you there is a temperature anomaly with this particular graphic for Joplin only. I do not know why. We are looking into it, and we'll get it solved as soon as we can, so ignore that number. It'd be nice, but that's not what we're going to see. We'll be into the low 90s by noon across the area, and we're looking at another very hot day out there as temperatures continue to climb into the upper 90s for many of us, pushing close to 100. We're talking heat index values 105 to 108 degrees. Could have a stray cloud or two overnight tonight. Otherwise, we're looking at another relatively hot and sunny day on our Tuesday, but slight humidity improvements out there means our heat index values will fall back just a bit, and that'll keep them below, at least for now, heat advisory criteria. But it will be another hot day across the region, and it'll do that again to us on Wednesday as well. Temperatures once again into the 90s, and that pattern repeats one more day this week. And then we're going to get a nice break once again. It's that roller coaster we've been on since, I want to say, June, where we'll have a week of temperatures below normal, then we go right back up and for a week or so, and then we come back down the next week and we go back up again. That roller coaster ride will continue across the area. Heat advisories for just about everybody today through the late evening hours, and again, that's for those heat index values 105 to 108. Delaware, Benton, Berry, Lawrence counties, the only ones without heat advisories, and the reason is you're going to be just that much cooler than everybody else, so that should keep your heat index values low. Heat risk is going to look unpleasant for the next couple of days, but I want to show you this because you'll see the benefits of a cold front that's coming in as we go into Thursday night and into Friday across the area. So by Thursday, we're starting to get down to that minor to moderate heat risk category across the region. By Friday, we're down to minor for just about everybody out there. Saturday, hanging on the minor, and Sunday is my new favorite here. Take a look. Some of us even into the little to no risk category on that heat risk map. Don't forget our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, a number of heat safety tips out there for you. Right now, it's already pretty warm. We'll still fall another few degrees to get to our overnight lows, but for now, unpleasant. 79 in Joplin, feels like 81 with a south breeze at 10. But take a look at the temperatures in those counties without the heat advisories. Low 70s to start the day, whereas everybody else mid-upper 70s. Nobody sitting at 80 right now, but we've got a number of communities pretty close to that. Sunny skies through the morning, warm at 8, hot by 11 as we get close to 90. Our highs again today into the mid to upper 90s across the region with those sunny skies. We'll fall back down into the low to mid 70s, so just again that much cooler than where we have been, with otherwise mostly clear skies, so just a few passing clouds overnight. And then we'll see that cold front again here on the extended. So we still hang out in the mid 90s through Thursday. Some isolated thunderstorms during the day Thursday, better chances overnight, and more storm chances on Friday with that cold front. And take a look at those temperatures, mid upper 80s into the weekend, and then down to the low to mid 80s by next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, Netflix has revealed its upcoming series based on the character Lara Croft. Rick Damigella has this story and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Lara Croft, the glorious return.
Lara Croft gets animated. Netflix has released its first look at Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. The animated adventure based on the video game franchise features Haley Atwell as the voice of Lara. The series premieres October 10th.
Andas in, andas ut.
A police officer tackles personal issues while grappling with unsolved crimes in the psychological drama Veronica. Alexandra Rappaport and Tobias Santelman star in the Nordic Noir series. Veronica is now streaming on Viaplay. That's singer-songwriter Kishi Bashi and his new song Lilliputian Chop. The music video was produced by Japanese anime studio Tonari Animation, known for its work on Spy Family, One Piece, and My Hero Academia. Kishi Bashi's upcoming North American tour kicks off in Atlanta September 3rd. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
A woman's daredevil attempt to have a very close encounter with a tiger in a zoo has zoo staff on edge and local police on the case. Jeremy Roth has today's. Take a look at this.
A collection of bad behavior caught on camera shows why we can't have nice things like copper wiring and watermelons and even arms, apparently. Staff at New Jersey's Cohanzick Zoo are on high alert after police shared video of a woman jumping a fence in an attempt to pet a tiger. In the video, you can see her nearly get bitten through a secondary wire fence before scurrying back over. Look, maybe there wasn't a sign clearly posted. Nope, there it is. Well, I'm sure she quickly learned her lesson, right?
Zoo officials say she tried to do the same thing here at the bear exhibit.
Oh, come on! Police are seeking the public's help in identifying the woman whose actions zoo officials say were extremely careless.
I hope that the individual recognizes how lucky they were to still be, have all of their limbs.
Police in Texas are sharing videos of individuals risking life and limb to steal valuable copper wiring from utility lines. One video shows a car nearly flipped over as a wire is yanked via vehicle. Another has a suspect casing some copper while dressed as a utility worker. And in another, a guy going for the Darwin Award by just climbing onto live power lines in broad daylight. Really, bro? The coppers say copper can be sold by thieves for a pretty penny, telling residents if you see something, say something. Finally, not-so-smooth criminals were thwarted by customs officials in Texas attempting to smuggle thousands of pounds of meth hidden in celery and encased in poorly disguised fake watermelons. I mean, even by fake watermelon standards, this is shoddy work. All told, the busts netted nearly $6 million in nabbed drugs in a food fraud scheme agents called a seedy situation. Good one, y'all. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We're back with more right after this. Let's double the trouble with the two newest giant panda babies born at the Berlin Zoo. The zoo announcing that its giant panda Mang Mang have given birth to twins on Thursday for a second time. As with all giant pandas, when they're born, the cubs are born deaf, blind, and pink. They'll only develop their black and white fur later on. The zoo says they will be actively supporting the cubs' mother as she raises them, since typically the species only takes care of one cub after giving birth to twins. The twins are a pleasant surprise considering that giant pandas generally have a difficult time breeding. China has been gifting its allied nations with the animals as part of its panda diplomacy policy, or loaning them to a commercial zoo basis. Well, here's to man's best friend, because today is National Dog Day. The day was created to recognize how many dogs need to be rescued each year. It honors family pets and dogs that put their lives on the line each day, such as law enforcement, canine partners, dogs that help find and rescue victims of accidents or tragedies, and working companions for the disabled. You can celebrate by adopting or begin fostering a pup, volunteering at a shelter, or donating to a shelter or rescue organization. Also take a minute to shop for your furry friends. Lots of online pet retailers are offering deep discounts on this National Dog Day.
Well, I'll have to tell the family that we just got a dog, so they'll be very excited it's National Dog Day and that there's some good discounts on all of those things. And it's a good day to order online, or at least stay indoors as much as you can. Sunny skies through the morning. We're going to go upper 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs mid-upper 90s. We've got heat advisories out there. Heat index values 105 to 108 degrees today. Clear skies through the evening, then a few clouds overnight. A wee bit cooler. We'll fall back in the low 70s. The heat hangs on through Thursday, mid-90s out there. Then a cold front Thursday night brings us some thunderstorm chances and temperatures falling back through the 80s. Let's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.